So guys, Nnamdi Kanu is not taking it lightly anymore, and he has now filed a 3-count charge ahead of his trial that will hold this week's Friday on the 26th of this very month. Welcome to this YouTube channel. In case you are new to this YouTube channel, kindly hit the subscribe bell below, because in this channel, I bring you everything that is trending and everything you need to know regarding Nnamdi Kanu. So the 3 papers you can see here are the 3-count charge filed by Nnamdi Kanu in the Federal High Court, and Nnamdi Kanu has brought Nasir Mohammed to court. If you haven't forgotten, last week Nnamdi Kanu filed a petition to be granted by the courts in order to aid him get medical treatment in a federal hospital in Abuja. But Nasir Mohammed, who is the medical doctor representing the DSS in the DSS facility for Nnamdi Kanu, came out and submitted a false evidence and report against Nnamdi Kanu. And this 3-count charge you can see here is the charge filed by Nnamdi Kanu's counsel against Nasir Mohammed, who is representing the DSS. The atrocities against Nnamdi Kanu must stop. And in this very 3-count charge, in case you haven't been following up, I'm going to be reading out the 3-count charge filed by Nnamdi Kanu against Nasir Mohammed, who is representing the DSS. It is mandatory, and it's also paramount for you to follow up this very case, because Nnamdi Kanu's trial will be coming up on Friday this very week. And if you haven't hit the subscribe bell below, it is also important and paramount that you hit the subscribe bell below, because there are more updates I'm going to be uploading here for you guys, starting with this 3-count charge, which I'm going to be displaying here for you guys to know. And in case you haven't followed up what actually happened, last week Nnamdi Kanu filed the petition and it was rejected by the courts. And the reason for that particular rejection was Nasir Mohammed. And without wasting much of your time, let's get straight to the contents of this 3-count charge filed by Nnamdi Kanu in the Federal High Court ahead of the trial that will hold on Friday, 26th of September. The header for the charge is Initiative Against Human Rights Abuse and Torture. Motto: my rights is my life. Indeed, Nnamdi Kanu's rights is his life. And this was dated 22nd September 2025. And I read: Dear Ma, petition to the Medical and Dental Council of Nigeria against Dr. Mohammed Nasir, medical officer of the Department of State Services, for professional misconduct and contravention of established medical standards in the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Introduction. We are a human rights non-governmental organization that has been following up the trial and incarceration of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. He wishes to formally petition against Dr. Mohammed Nasir, a serving medical officer of the Department of State Services, DSS. This complaint arises from his conduct in the matter of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, currently held in DSS custody under charge number FHC/ABJ/383/2015. Specifically, Dr. Mohammed Nasir has, without empirical counter-testing or verifiable diagnostic evidence, dismissed and disapproved the comprehensive medical findings and recommendation of Emeritus Professor Martin Anthony Agaji. In case you don't know who Emeritus Professor Martin Anthony Agaji is, he is Nnamdi Kanu's personal doctor who has been taking care and looking over Nnamdi Kanu. To counter this, the DSS has their own doctor who is also checking on Nnamdi Kanu. When Emeritus Professor Martin Anthony gave a report that Nnamdi Kanu is developing a lump and also he has some cancerous signs, this very Nasir Mohammed countered it and told the courts that the courts has no rights to let Nnamdi Kanu go to a medical center. And the reason for Nnamdi Kanu's petition was for him to be allowed to seek medical help in the National Hospital in the same Abuja. And Nasir Mohammed stood as a stumbling block for Nnamdi Kanu. This is why the council has come out now to file a petition strongly against Nasir Mohammed, who has been opposing Nnamdi Kanu. Does Nasir Mohammed want Nnamdi Kanu to die? That is the question we all should ask. Who is this Nasir Mohammed? Was he paid to come and work against Nnamdi Kanu? Was he paid to come and take Nnamdi Kanu's life? Why is Nasir Mohammed acting like this against Nnamdi Kanu? What is his gain to stop Nnamdi Kanu from going to a medical center? What is his gain from stopping Nnamdi Kanu to seek medical attention? What is his motive? Well, let's continue. NUC Distinguished Emeritus Professor of Cardiac Surgery, University of Nigeria, Nsukka, and a globally recognized authority in cardiovascular medicine. Summary of facts. 1. On the 22nd day of August 2025, at the official request of DSS itself, Professor Martin Anthony Agaji conducted a full medical evaluation of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. His final reports, dated 24th August 2025, revealed as follows. A fasting blood sugar of 6.8 mol/L in brackets pre-diabetic stage, implicating pancreatic dysfunction, brackets closed. B. Critically high creatinine at 159.4 mmol/L, indicating renal compromise. C. Severe hypokalemia with potassium at 2.1 mmol/L, a life-threatening condition. I say it again, a life-threatening condition. Let's continue. D. Evidence of pathology in the brain, hearts, kidneys, prostate, pancreas, and axilla. E. A clear medical recommendation for urgent hospitalization at the National Hospital, Abuja private wing for stabilization, given the need for continuous monitoring, drug adjustments, and specialized intervention. F. Attached is the reports of the Professor Agaji's findings of the 24th day of August 2025. 2. Despite this scientifically tested diagnosis from an internationally reputable cardiac surgeon and past president of the Nigerian Cardiac Society, Dr. Mohammed Nasir, in his 37-paragraph counter affidavit, deposed that the Federal High Court unilaterally discredited Professor Agaji's reports. His reasoning was not grounded on any fresh diagnostic evaluation, but rather on claims that A. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was comfortable in DSS custody. You can imagine Nasir Mohammed. After Agaji reported that Nnamdi Kanu is unstable, this Nasir Mohammed came out and countered Agaji's medical report on Nnamdi Kanu, that Nnamdi Kanu is stable, that Nnamdi Kanu was comfortable in DSS custody. How can Nasir Mohammed make this statement that Nnamdi Kanu is comfortable in DSS custody? What sort of statement is that? Nasir Mohammed is evil. I must say it. Let's continue. B. DSS had adequate facilities to manage his condition. C. The ailments were exaggerated and speculative. Number 3. At no point did Dr. Mohammed Nasir provide independent laboratory tests. You can imagine. At no point did Nasir Mohammed carry out any independent laboratory test on Nnamdi Kanu. And he came out and gave a baseless evidence and a baseless statement that Nnamdi Kanu was comfortable in the DSS facility, countering Agaji's report for Nnamdi Kanu. This is why Nnamdi Kanu has now filed a strong petition and now filed a 3-count charge against him in the Federal High Court of Nigeria, and he must face this charge squarely. Let's continue. Radiological examinations or specialist counter opinions to invalidate Professor Agaji's findings of the 24th day of August 2025. His affidavits instead relied on conjecture and an attempt to minimize the gravity of an established medical emergency. We strongly posit that the law is settled that every detainee retains the fundamental rights to life and health under Section 33 and 34 of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended, as well as under Article 4 and 16 of the African Charter on Human and People's Rights (Ratification and Enforcement) Act Cap A9 LFN 2004. The courts have consistently held in Ogugu v. States (1994) 9 NWLR (PT.366) 1 and Fawehimi v. Abacha (2000) 6 NWLR (PT.660) 228 that fundamental rights extend to all persons irrespective of their status. The Code of Medical Ethics also mandates that medical practitioners should act strictly on tested clinical evidence, avoid speculative claims, and never undermine the findings of colleagues without substantive empirical basis. Dr. Nasir's reliance on comfort in custody as a ground to dismiss Professor Agaji's evidence-based reports falls egregiously short of professional standard in Medical and Dental Practitioner Disciplinary Tribunal v. Okonkwo (2001) 7 NWLR (PT.711) 206. The Supreme Court emphasized that medical decisions must respect both scientific standards and the autonomy of patients. To ignore the urgent recommendation of a cardiac surgeon regarding a detainee in critical condition is to expose the patient to avoidable mortality, an act that borders on professional negligence and abuse of office. Furthermore, international precedents, including the UN Standard Minimum Rules for the Treatment of Prisoners (Mandela Rules 2015), require that prisoners be afforded the same medical standards as are available in the wider community. To deny Mr. Kanu, who is only detained and not yet convicted, a transfer to the National Hospital when his potassium level is dangerously low is tantamount to deliberate medical neglect. Prayers. We submit by the conduct above that Dr. Nasir Mohammed has 1. Acted in breach of the Code of Medical Ethics by dismissing a specialist's diagnostic reports without empirical counter evidence. 2. Endanger the life of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu through speculative reasoning instead of scientific evaluation. 3. Misused his office to frustrate access to adequate medical treatments, thereby breaching constitutional and international safeguards. Accordingly, we urge the Medical and Dental Council of Nigeria to 1. Immediately commence disciplinary proceedings against Dr. Mohammed Nasir. 2. Investigate his role in obstructing access to proper medical care for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. 3. Impose appropriate sanction under the Medical and Dental Practitioner Acts. Conclusion. In the light of the foregoing, it is evident that Dr. Mohammed Nasir's conduct amounts to grave professional misconduct, endangering the life of a detainee by substituting speculation for evidence-based medical judgments, and has shown that his commitment to the medical landscape has been sacrificed on the altar of desperation, corruption, and partiality. We therefore respectfully urge the Medical and Dental Council of Nigeria to investigate this matter with urgency and apply the appropriate disciplinary measures to safeguard the integrity of the medical profession and uphold the recommendation of Emeritus Professor M.A.C. Agaji on the transfer of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Respectfully submitted. 4. Initiative against human rights abuse and torture. And as you can see, this was duly signed. Well, I have no other option than to conclude with the facts that I strongly believe that Dr. Nasir has been bribed to work against Nnamdi Kanu. And I strongly hope that this particular petition and this particular 3-count charge against Nasir leads to him being terminated as a doctor, because he isn't qualified in any way to be a doctor, since he has the guts to counter Professor Emeritus' reports of Nnamdi Kanu being ill, to clearly come out and boldly state that Nnamdi Kanu is comfortably staying in the DSS facility without any issues. Well, at this point in time, I'll let you guys tell me what you feel about this in the comment section below. Do well to like this video, share this video, and tell me what you feel about this man called Dr. Nasir. And most importantly, don't forget to hit the subscribe bell below for more trending updates.